Hello gainers, welcome to Fitter Philosophy, the channel on YouTube which mixes philosophical principles with the practicalities of observation of life experience. Particularly the fact that I have experienced a bit of life myself, and there's nothing beats experience for getting past the distractions, the flannel and the misinformation that we are fed, mostly by ourselves, throughout life. And there's things that we wish we knew, but it takes time to find them. And the great thing about the internet is when people share experiences and perceptions, opinions and discoveries, it becomes shared in a way that has never been achievable before, except through books, which is why many periods of history books have been rather restricted. Now the subject of my video blog today is part of the series on investments. The investments that we and we alone make in life that improve the quality of our life and the experience of our life. And it's made up of a number of components. And the particular component I'm going to talk about today is education. Investing in education. Because at a very young age, whether we go to kindergarten, thank goodness I didn't, or when we have to go to school, for quite a long period of time in our childhood, it's quite time-consuming experience. We are told by our parents and by society and by the teachers at school that we are being educated, and that the purpose of education is so that we will be useful members of society and that we will contribute to our communities, that we will be able to get jobs and work and earn money and pay taxes and buy stuff in shops. And by and large, when I was at school in the 1960s, it was a formula that worked and rarely got questioned. But times have changed, attitudes have changed, and to be honest, I think many people around the world are much more clued up than before. And we realise that a lot of the purpose of education in schools is in fact indoctrination. There are the three principal educational parts of schooling, which is arithmetic, reading and writing. They're the important ones, really the essentials, which is well worth learning and learning to a good standard. But then there is indoctrination. And you'll find this more with the arts than the sciences. We are told what is a great piece of art, what is good piece of art. We are steered in that direction, and we're encouraged to dismiss anything in nature as artistic, and that we should go to galleries where it's put in presentation by those who want to tell us what we should consider art. And then you have subjects like history. Great example, where frankly we're taught a load of disingenuous bullshit, and in fact it's simply education history is an extension of our particular country's propaganda. And when we examine it later on in life, if we choose to do so, we will find an awful lot of it is, if not complete lies, then heavily manipulated, edited and remodified to reinforce the dogma of the establishment that control that society and to suit their agenda. And it's something that I have noticed over the years is that quiet people who read books generally have got better quality lives because they understand more of the reality of the world in which they live and less about the fantasy that's been imposed upon them through the educational system. It doesn't stop at school, gainers. It does not stop at school. When we get into education, where it's now got to the stage that people are basically students, are customers, being overcharged for a fairly statutory education, unless they're lucky enough to have particularly good, caring, concerned and enlightened lecturers and teachers. But it's very much a system, an examinational system which is not assessing what you've learnt and what you know. It's assessing your ability to behave a certain way to pass exams, which can be really quite stressful. And as a result, many talented, capable people are unable to pass their exams, although in fact they've learnt an awful lot from the experience of education, because they've probably gone beyond the textbooks and actually done wider research, which of course affects their approach to the exam. An exam is an exercise in memory and regurgitation of mainly irrelevant facts if you're doing the arts. But if you're doing the humanities, they're called, but if you're doing the sciences, it's probably more worthwhile. Physics, chemistry, engineering in particular. But I would say any advice that's going to be really useful for a young person is, before you commit to the horrendous costs of attempting degrees and high-end diplomas, seriously thinking about getting a work experience. The best way to get work experience is to go to an employer, state who you are, what you know, what your ambitions are, and offer to work for them for a fixed period of time on minimum wage. It doesn't have to be long, it could be literally 1 month, but immediately you're creating something for the CV that other people attending an interview may not have. It's the curriculum vitae, the form that we put in when we're applying for a job, which tells the employer about ourselves. Frankly, they're not particularly interested in us as individuals. Employers are interested in how useful we are to them with the skills and attitude and level-headedness that we can bring to their organisation. So understand that. There's many big companies have bypassed employing people from the general education system, where the indoctrination has been taking place, and in fact they're looking for people that have practical life experience. So it's worth being mindful of. And this comes neatly to the point that for many people, education finishes at school, and thereafter it is a diet of junk food, movies, films, video games, and the acquisition of transient material junk. I know I'm kind of harsh about it, but it's a fact. We all accrue some things over time, definitely, but too many people accrue too much. And if they were any wealthier, the landfill sites around the world full of rubbish would be even deeper and wider and fuller. There's another education, and this is the education that we can invest in ourselves. Now, I mentioned earlier about quiet people reading books. It's a very, very good place to start. Quiet people listen more because they're talking less. It's as simple as that. And when they read books, they may read books that entertain them, but they have this amazing variety of uncensored media, which books are, and least censored media, where if they want genuinely useful information and perspectives, a little treasure hunt through the internet will probably mean that they find it. And also keeping good company, talking to the right people, helps you find it. And it is information, knowledge. With knowledge comes skills. And when we're investing in knowledge, investing in our education, we are investing in skills. We sharply tune our experience of life more thoroughly, and ultimately we get more out of life, and we are able to give more to those around us. I'm going to call it time on this video. I think I've chatted enough. Hello there. And I'm just finishing off a recording a video. Won't be a second, thanks. And here's my advice to you. Find a book, read a book, any book. Make sure it's a good book, because when you do, it's the most useful thing you can point to start in investing in knowledge. As I mentioned, investing in knowledge is to invest in skills, to invest in opportunities. And As we gain knowledge, we redefine, recalibrate our whole approach and what matters in life, and that is significant. That, gainers, is well worth investing in. Thank you for watching. I'm Ralphie. I'm all finished now, and hopefully you've enjoyed this. Click subscribe if you like it, leave a comment if you'd like, and I'll speak to you soon with probably my final episode on investments. Thank you, gainers. I'll leave you with this beautiful sunlit view of the Irish Sea. See you later.